friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, my buddy Cowboy Joe, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and wake up those football gods here. Wake up, guys. All right, it is Monday. Don't forget, Monday night, we have our live stream, 9 o'clock Eastern. Please be sure to join us. And I'm looking for Cowboys First and 10 because he was our winner of our Joe Barty on Friday night. Email me at cowboysmark94@gmail. We'll be giving away another one, of course, tonight, Monday night during our live stream. We'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. The schedule releases in a couple of days, as well as the rookie mini camp goes off this week as well. So we are getting closer and closer to the NFL season. Hope all the mothers out there had a great Mother's Day. All right, so we've made it through free agency, losing some free agents, of course, signing a few. We've been through the draft and now have our rookie drafted class as well as our rookie free agents. Now the question, after having a disappointing 6-10 season, has Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys done enough for this season? There's two ways you look at a season, because we still have some veteran free agents out there, and there's going to be more because as teams have gone through and they've gotten their draft class together and they start looking at it and saying, well, we can let this veteran go and that veteran go and start saving some money with guys that are still productive. Now, there's two ways of looking at the season. One way looking at it is we're close to challenging for a Super Bowl or the playoffs. And so you look at getting veteran players that are kind of short term. And you bring them in because you're trying to get a little oomph, here just to get you over the hump. Or you look at it as we're building a team for down the road. We're trying to get young talent, teach them everything, and let them grow together so that way in 2, 3, 4 years or even next year that they're ready to compete and challenge for a Super Bowl. It seems like more times than not, the Cowboys have always been that team that thinks, we're just a couple of players away, although they don't actually go out and get those players, but that they're really close and don't do a complete rebuild. Now, I dare say that for me, this offseason felt like a complete rebuild for the defense. The offense stood pat. The offense didn't change at all. Defense, there's going to be a lot of new starters. I'd be surprised if there's more than, starters from last year. You got to say, okay, D-Law. You've got to say probably Randy Gregory, who wasn't initially a starter, will be. Gallimore, who wasn't initially a starter, will probably be a starter. I'm not sure that Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch are going to be starters. Jordan Lewis, I would say probably at this point, and Anthony Brown will be, and Darian Thompson. So other than that, I think that it could be a lot of turnover. Now the question is, because we've gone through and we've gotten younger, a lot younger. We've let go of our long snapper. Okay, of course. Father Tom finally caught up with him. Sean Lee is gone. Tyrone Crawford is gone. They didn't re-sign Gerald McCoy, even though Gerald McCoy thinks that he still has a lot left to give. The Cowboys are kind of like, no, we're moving on to another direction. You now look at DeMarcus Lawrence and Tyron Smith as the elder statesmen on this team. So are the Cowboys rebuilding and saying, we're going to take this year and learn, this will be the learning curve of all these young pups, and we'll look at it from the standpoint of getting another year behind them and then hopefully the year after? Or do you add some veteran presence to help encourage those guys along, mentor them, and also have a veteran out there? When you're young, your strength and speed can make up for a lack of talent. When you get older, it is actually your skills that carry you through. As a wide receiver, Jerry Rice wasn't as fast as he was in year 15 as he was in year 2. that's when his route running really made a difference as he got older. So the question is, with some of these free agents out there, do the Cowboys bring anybody else in, or they look at it and say, we have a core group of guys that we're going to pick through, and this is our team? Now, we remember we had Malik Hooker, who came in, safety from the Colts, played in 5 games last year, got injured, and is recovering or close to being recovered. In the 2 games he played last year, had 7 tackles, 5 solos. Not bad, but has been a really, really good safety, really young. He's only 25. And you look at it and say, is Deontay and Keanu Neal enough for us at safety? I don't have the answer for that one. I'm just putting out there that Malik Hooker is another guy that's still out there. So do they revisit? Do they check on the injury, whether or not it's healed? Because you'll remember Deontay also is coming off of Achilles tear. Just saying. There's also, of course, a guy that I really was hyper on is Sheldon Richardson is still out there. Sheldon Richardson, a nose guard, okay, not a nose tackle. He is a nose guard, a true one. Now, I know we got Bohannon. He's a rookie, going to have a learning curve. I'm high on Bohannon, but maybe you put a second nose guard in there because I think nose guard is going to be key on this defense. Again, Sheldon Richardson is 30 years old. He's not a young pup, but you're talking about a guy that's got 31 sacks from the interior of the defensive line, 461 combined tackles with 273. Played all 16 games, so he's uninjured. And again, 4.5 sacks last year. So typically, a lot of your free agents out there, when they get in the 30s, it seems like they're injured, they're slowing down, they may not have that much left. But clearly, 64 tackles from the nose is not bad, and that's another guy that's out there that's a possibility. Edge rusher, Justin Houston. Justin Houston played 16 games last year, had 8 sacks still, and could be that extra edge rusher with experience. Still hasn't really slowed down, but Justin Houston, again, getting along in the tooth, 32 years of age. But from a mentor standpoint and put in a rotation with Randy Gregory might not be a bad thing. And since he is out there, Indianapolis has let him go, you might want to take a look at him. Richard Sherman, okay? Richard Sherman is the elder statesman of this group, Richard Sherman being 32. Richard Sherman is not the same guy that he used to be, but the thing you can say about Richard Sherman is Richard Sherman's big, he knows the system, and when you think that you have all of these young guys, if you can take what his knowledge is, his experience, and transfer that to our young guys, it might not be a bad idea, because at this point, Richard Sherman can be a coach on the field and to really, really help be a leader. The other thing about Richard Sherman is he's emotional, and he's a guy who can help get people fired up. Now, can he do what he used to do? Probably not. But on a leadership standpoint, I'm not sure who the leader is on that defense. D-Law would be probably the de facto one because of his age and everything on there. He's a guy who tries to get people fired up, but I'm not sure that everybody buys into everything D-Law says. And that's no shade on him. It's just I'm not sure that he is. Jalen Smith, I think, tries to be, but I'm not sure that Jalen Smith really is that guy as well. Now, that's not to say that one of these young guys like Micah Parsons isn't going to be that guy. But truly, you need a guy on defense that's going to get into your face, that's going to tell you when you screwed up, that's going to fire your ass up, because sometimes the difference in football is just that little edge of anger that's controlled. And I don't see somebody on this team that does that. And finally, one I think probably definitely still is a no-go is KJ Wright. KJ Wright still definitely has a lot left in the tank, but with the Cowboys getting Cox and, of course, Parsons and still having Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, I don't think they'd bring in KJ Wright. But KJ Wright, again, another one of those guys who knows the system, can be a coach on the field, can be an emotional leader. And when you think about last year, let me look at his stats from last year. Last year, 16 games, 86 tackles, 60 solos, 3 quarterback hits, 11 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks. That's some pretty good production from your linebacker. So those are kind of the cream of the crop that's out there right now in free agency and guys that could potentially help out on the defense. Honestly, I don't think the Cowboys will sign any of them. I think the Cowboys are more of, we know what we're doing. We draft better than anybody else, and we find homegrown talent, and that's going to be the direction that they're going to go. And also, too, Stephen Jones is cheap. So these are possibilities of guys that I think the Cowboys should at least visit at some point, because Stephen Jones always says that player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job, and you're always looking for a person that's going to make your team better. And if that's truly the case, then you have to at least look at each of these guys. All right, y'all, don't forget, tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be here with our live stream. Right now, I got work to do on these Joe Bardys. Cowboys 1st and 10. Don't forget to email me because we need to get you Joe Bardy. You know the drill. Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.